All right. All right. Thank you, chat, stream. All y'all are smarter than I am. Let's move this back a little bit. All right, now we can start. Today, this is the aluminum top of the HJ-75. Aluminum top. But it's the... I built it before on stream. My commission was to kind of source a board too. I was going to source a 75% for random box unbox. But unfortunately, the one we're going to buy ended up getting swiped at the last minute. I was going to get him a TX, the KBD fans 75. KBD 75. It's a great deal. It came with caps that he liked. But unfortunately, when I asked for pictures of the condition, the guy just sold it. The client is Random Box Unbox. He has a YouTube channel. It's Random Box Unbox on YouTube. Let's see.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel.
So I'll turn on window capture real quick. This is his channel. He does a lot of tech reviews and random reviews. He's starting to get into keyboards, and he wanted to try a custom keyboard, so he hit me up on email. I was like, sure, dude, let's do it. What's up, Ivan? I charged him... Well, I'll be charging for future commissions $30, but I charged him a little bit more to account for sourcing a board too. He didn't have anything on hand, so I spent a lot of time helping him pick a board, helping him find it too. I was scouring Mech Market for him, but it's not too much. I'm going to be setting up a page to do commissions now that I'm doing an official one, and it's only going to be $30 for a straightforward build. If you have like a daughter board and something complicated like soldering Milmax sockets, it'll have to be more. But this is the acrylic plate. And I wanted to talk about this with the tool in hand, but the HJ-75 found this out after I bought it, of course. The plates do not work with screw and stabs. So this is the plate right here. To get this to work, oh guys, you can see my shorts. Obviously not wearing pants because it's quarantine time. So this plate right here, these openings do not fit screw and stabs. So what you have to do, if you look here, that screw hole, let's get closer. Ooh, it's too bright. So that hole, the little opening where the screw part is, it's just rounded and too big, and the plate won't actually sit. So what you have to do is you take a file, this is a diamond file from Home Depot, you get it in here and you just grind away at it for a long time. Unfortunately, a pretty long time. It took me about 2 hours. You did that for every single stab opening. Yeah, I'm serious. We found that out later, unfortunately. Like, if I had known, the price point of 114 shipped would have been less than ideal. So yeah, this is the HJ-75 that I own, and I'm actually going to commission it out and sell it. I desoldered it and cleaned it. Since it was my board the first time I built it, I didn't care about the flux, but I actually spent time to clean this up. So there's no leftover flux. We'll clean it again after we solder. And Regulicious asked if this is just an acrylic plate. Yeah, it's an acrylic plate that we had to freaking file down. So yeah, so now that it's been filed, I've already done the labor on this. The plate sits, but it took quite a bit of time. And this one also has a locked layout, 6.25U spacebar only, and all the mods are locked in place. So not a lot of customization available on this board. You also can't do split space or split backspace. But it is a very affordable board if you can find it. If you're buying it on the secondhand market, you gotta know. Gotta be aware that it shouldn't be that expensive. It is 114 chip for the HJ-75, and the HJ-CP is a little bit more, but I think it's like 120 or something. How does it sound? Streak asked, how does it sound? I have a sound test on my YouTube channel. You can find it. I had built it with Yadaron yellows with unwide stems. For this one, we're going to be doing alpacas. These are alpacas from Prime KB. They've been lubed and filmed by Zen, XEN. His Discord user, let me grab it. He's trying to do more. He's trying to do more lube jobs. Sounds weird, but he lubed a set of switches for a board that was recently built on Teja stream. I don't know if Zen's here. He's in my server. One click, you die. Like, well, how else do you call it? There we go. Zen's in the house. Rondi G says, I regret not joining the HJ-75 GB. Dude, yeah, honestly, it was really, really cheap. And that's why I got it. And unfortunately, I had to let it go because of funds and stuff. And I wanted to get my homie a nice board. And because I have a lot of boards coming in, I can't justify holding on to this many. So I'm going to let it go. Alright, so let's get this started. People have asked me like how you start. Wait, let's do a quick little sound test of this if you can hear it. I don't know if you can. It sounds pretty good to me. Let's see. Turn off that music. It's pretty smooth to me. What's up, Steven? So I got 90 here. In these two, oh, that's just foam. So, yeah, they sound really good. They sound really smooth, and they don't drag, which can really happen if you overloop your linears. Lala said Alpacas 2, waiting for a board to build them in. Stock up on them. They're a really good switch. Ivan, I don't know what the next restock's going to be, but if you're trying to get something to save for the future, stay on top of the Canon Keys restock of the mobs. They're going to be the same switch. And if you don't have like a time schedule that you have to abide to, you can get them from China and stuff like AliExpress. There's a bunch of available ways. There's a bunch of ways to get alpacas if you're not limited to buying domestically to get them faster. And this is the first time I'm using this. This is my new solder iron holder. It is 3D printed by my homie Jinra, and it fits the Hako brass tip cleaner. We didn't have a brass tip cleaner the last time I streamed. It was embarrassing. It was really bad. But I just glued it before this, and I really hope it doesn't fall apart. Because I think you're supposed to let it cure for like 24 hours. But I didn't. But it's holding pretty well. It's just 3 pieces. There's a bottom piece, the stem, and then the whole holder. Put the iron right on top. So when is that next restock? Late May? Sounds like a good deal. Hopefully we're out of this quarantine by then. So these are clean, they're not desoldered or anything, brand new. So what I'm gonna try to do is get the corners in first. And sorry everyone for not doing the build streams for a while. Been playing Valorant mostly because I haven't had anything to build. Can't do build streams if you ain't got nothing to build, you know? Got the 4 corners in. I'm gonna solder these in. I think my desk lamp is too strong. It's blowing out my frame. So let's turn off some of these lights. Strip. Yeah, I definitely do not need that light. Cool, cool, cool. Now it's no longer blowing my frame out. I get the corners in just to get it stable. I don't want it moving laterally. And I'm checking all the corners. Acrylic is a more stiff material, so I don't have to worry about the plate flexing under itself and not being lined up. But I still like to press it all the way in. Make sure it clips into place. I'm going to start by soldering. Also, this is a new fan. I don't know if I had it. Yeah, in my last stream I had something else. Let's see. Let me get some more light on my face. There we go. So my last stream I had something else. This one I bought from Amazon. It takes up a little bit less space, which I like. It's a pretty hefty boy. It won't move around. And I considered plasti dipping it, but I was like, I don't know. I don't want to take it apart and not be able to put it back together. Lalila asks if the Key-75 is a good buy. Honestly, it probably is. If you like the top right blocker, a la the Q, you can get it for pretty cheap, affordably, by getting an extra of the Key-65. But I don't know when it's going to come through. Being an unlimited group buy, people have been telling me that QC may be an issue. So be careful. Make sure you get a good quality one. And of course, the star of the show, just like the last stream, we are using the TS80 powered by PowerBrick. Heating up. I think I set it at 320 degrees Celsius. Just gotta let it warm up. I turned off the music, so let me know if you guys like want the music, you don't want the music. I don't mind just not having music so you can listen to your own stuff. But I don't know what people do when they watch these streams. Just let me know. I won't be putting jazz music though, sorry. I'm EDM head. Ivan says no jazz. Sorry, I just don't like copying others, man. I don't actually listen to jazz. I don't want to pretend that I listen to jazz. I'm a dirty EDM listener. And hip hop, of course. I would do lo-fi hip hop, but I feel like a lot of Fortnite streamers use lo-fi. I was looking up like no copyright music to play in the background. Alright, let's throw the EDM back up. At least it's gonna be chill trap today. Alright. Thanks for hanging out with me. How's everyone doing tonight? It's like week 5 for me staying inside. Nice. Glad you enjoy it. One click you die. Dude, I wish I could one click and kill people. I've been trying to play Valorant and I get one clicked. Real bad. I see someone, pop, dead. It's quite embarrassing. And I try not to get carried, but I keep needing to get carried. Sorry, there's no Valorant drops on this stream because I'm not playing Valorant. 100 hours, man. I'm sorry, Hashling. Hashlinging Slasher. Okay, Zirkowski. That name is way different from Smack My Melon, man. You're making it hard for me to keep up. Alright, so the number 0 brush is the biggest one. And number 00 is smaller than the number 0. Like how lube is thickest at G0 and G00 is thinner. Hashling and Slasher asks, how much does it take to screw up a PCB in terms of soldering? You would literally have to forget your iron is on the PCB. So if you just left it there and start, like if I were to do this and keep talking and just be like, oh man, I forgot, then you could like burn a pad. But if you're looking at it, just doing a few seconds, it'll melt in 2 seconds or so maximum if you're going with a lower temperature. But as long as you're not holding it onto the pad, you should be fine. I've damaged PCBs on the desolder, not really on the soldering. Alright, so we got the corners done. Nathan Barr asked, did I get the Idabao 75% off of drop? I did not. I don't need a hot swap board right now. And apparently it's now plate mount, which kind of sucks, right? You told me this on Discord, right? Yeah, dude, it's the being impatient that gets me messed up. Because I can't get that desolder out. If you yank it on a desolder, that's how it can get destroyed, because you kind of rip the pad. Hashling and Slash asks, how is desoldering different from soldering? It's the reverse. Soldering is easy. You just gotta melt solder onto your PCB and the pins. But desolder, you gotta heat it up and use a sucker to get it out. If you use the hand pump, so what I have right here is the hand pump. If you can, oop, there's a piece of solder in there. If you can get the desolder on the first try, so you're gonna heat it up with the iron, heat up the pin, and then you activate this by going. If you can get that on the first try by getting a proper seal around the pin, then it'll be easy. But if you don't, and you try to just yank it out, that is how you destroy your pads. Or you can do the other dangerous way, which unfortunately I think someone was telling me BT did this on his stream. He didn't have a desolder tool, and he accidentally soldered in the switches for the Winkilus area, so the Winkey. You can technically heat up the pin. I definitely bet that. You can technically heat up the pin and pull it out. But the problem with that is, if it cools while you do that, you will rip your pad and it won't work anymore. Let's see, got some questions in here. Maki Trash Panda says you gotta use a clean tip and sucker to properly desolder. Yep. The desolder tool is really expensive, but way easier because it's all in one motion. Because you're using the same tool to heat up the pin that you are to suck it out. So you don't have to do like the heat and then kind of like transition to suck. The SSL2, the tip can actually withstand the heat of the soldering iron. So people recommend that. But I like this solder bullet one. Mostly because it has a bigger canister to get more suction power. But I would not apply the iron directly to the tip. I think they both have replaceable tips. And Lala Island asked, what board was it? It was a Q, I think. It was a blue Q. I didn't watch the stream because I was doing some other stuff. I love the guy. He's one of my like role models, you know, but he was in a tough spot, not having desolder tool. When you're on stream, it gets real tough, you know? You're like, oh, I gotta do something. I can't just stop the stream. That's why it stresses me out sometimes. Because I gotta get everything right. I have to set up this whole station. I gotta get space for the board, the tools, my extra stuff. And I'm always missing something small. Like, I couldn't find this bag of screws. Because I took out the HJ-75 screws, put it in a bag that says HJ-75 screws. But I have so many of these Ziploc bags. I was like, where is that bag? I know it's here somewhere. Zerkowski asks, I just want to get the best tools for looping because I want to get a good experience for the first time. As long as you get some kind of brush that's thicker, you're fine. Sora says BT has transitioned into a keyboard builder. I've talked to BT before, and he's actually had boards for a pretty long time. He just has been preoccupied with doing mouse content because he got sponsors and stuff, and you got to put that content out first. And I feel like the boards are just him. So of course, personal content has to go after your professional responsibilities. But he's been in like the peripheral game for a while. Has a pretty poppin' Discord server. So with that kind of reach, it's not too hard to get things. Free Hong Kong 2020 asks if that's a 3D printed TS8 holder. TS80 holder? Yeah, it is. I just got it a few days ago. My buddy 3D printed it for me. I like it. It's real nice. The iron goes over the top. It's not touching the table. And it fits the Hako brass tip cleaner. Let's turn off this fan. I'm not using it. It's kind of loud. Can I hear my own music now? I'm gonna put my headphones on so I hear some music. This is a IDB60. It is a plateless sandwich mill board. It's an affordable board. It was 150 at GB. I got it on extras, and I got it from Jay, who had to price it higher to help offset the support that UPass gave him. So I've ended up paying $227 or so. Thank you. It's very simple. I like my little artisans here. Let's flex them a little bit. This is the 9's Kipura, and this is the 97 Bongo. This is not 9's, but you know, it's dark enough for me. I don't need like that 1-1 match. Personally, some people want to match it perfectly. They get those key matching artisans. I'll just take whatever I can win in a raffle. I got those both on raffle. I really hope this is the right spot. I'm gonna check with Keycaps in a moment. Because the first time I built this, I put it in the wrong spot. Man, I can hear it when it bends the pin. Just straight flattened out. Nathan asks, how much do HJ-75s go for on the aftermarket? I don't really know, but I would not pay $200 for it. I would pay at most $175 shipped, assuming $20 shipping. Which reminds me, when I ship this, I'm gonna have to pack it well. Thanks DZ for lurking. Homie understands I need the engagement. Is this music really trap? Honestly, it was called trap. I'm like, I don't know. I need all of these. I've been itching to build, but I always get a little self-conscious. You know, I'm like, man, what if I mess it up? Because I do have a numpad, and a 3x3 board, or I guess they're boards. But I gotta build them, but they're gonna be way more complicated than keyboards. I mean, not way more complicated, but a little bit more difficult. Gotta solder diodes and some other stuff. I'll be doing streams on those next week. Free Hong Kong says all the wub wub music sounds the same. I enjoy the wub wub. There should be an Insomniac hosted live stream tonight. They've been doing DJ live streams and I quite enjoy them. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when you close your switches, will this camera do better? Will it focus? This camera sucks at focusing, the face cam. Alright, let's try this one. Get it! I don't think it's gonna do it. Screw it. Well, the plastic legs, make sure they're closed all the way before you snap a pin in, or a switch in to the plate, because when you close them, you might snap 3 legs, and then the 4th one will still be hanging, and if it's hanging, and you try to push into a plate, you'll bend the leg back. So, watch out for that. If it doesn't go in smoothly, that's probably the reason. Nathan says, do the hand thing. Well, I like changed my focus box, so it's like here. I can't find this focus box. Let's see. There you go. The hand thing, man. Swatching. Wait, I gotta like show you though. Yeah, those 2 legs that you see right there. 1 click, you die. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, those legs, make sure they're all snapped down. Oh, got silenced my phone. That's the donation coming through. Yeah, make sure those legs are down, because especially on the Gateron inks, I like pushed a lot of them backwards. Yeah, the hand thing. I hate the hand thing because my fiance calls me out too. It's like, oh, you're swatchy? Yes. Because cameras are dumb. You got to give it a little help. I'm $5 closer to buying my own desolder tool. Especially now of all times. If I'm going to do a commission, I can't easily go like borrow my friend's tools. Because of social distancing, you know? And of course we're all like building right now. We're trying to keep ourselves busy. Just trying to keep our minds occupied. But I've like minimized a lot of my boards. Alright, so like this IDB60, I had to do a sound test of it, but I added the keyboard films to it, and it does sound deeper and more muted, which I really like because creams to me are really, really freaking loud. But I'm gonna be desoldering these. I don't love them. Unfortunately, I do not love creams. I have to make sure that when I'm using it, it's not like late at night. Because especially when you're gaming, you're like da, 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 da. It sounds like a machine gun, like to my ears. And I'm sure to my fiance it doesn't sound pleasant either. Professor Kai asked, did the gym you talked about being open during quarantine closed yet? I don't know, but the person that I kind of called out, he actually left the gym. So in terms of the macro, I don't know if that gym is still open. And, you know, the kind of pride of being able to shut that down as a group is not there. But to be able to change one person's perspective on whether or not that gym should be open and whether or not he should be going to it, that's a win in my book. Because like my messages to him, I wasn't trying to blast him. I was just like, yo, you really gotta think about it. Like, even if there's only a few people in the gym, it's still dangerous for everyone around you. And every time I see someone that I follow a lot of fitness people because I've been in the fitness game for a while. I know you can't tell because I look kind of fat, but I follow a lot of these people that have fitness as their brand and their business. So I see a lot of them still going to gyms, public gyms, private gyms, whatever. You're still in a gym, and I'm like, no, I can't follow you anymore. I can't support this. I know like one unfollow is not gonna mess them up. They don't really care. They won't really know. They don't know who I am. But for me, that is like a symbolic move of not supporting them. But it's been crazy. I've gotten people like messaging me, telling me about their opinions and stuff. Dude, hash sling slasher. Your name is a tongue twister. But yeah, not everyone's taking it seriously, and a lot of people think it's a conspiracy. I'm gonna put the switch to the side because the pins are all jacked up. I'm gonna fix it though for my client, but it's... Oh, that one didn't go in all the way. Hash sling slasher. Yeah, some people think it's a conspiracy for like government control. They honestly think that the government is trying to limit population and kind of transition us into obedience. Yeah, that Florida thing, man. It's gotta be Florida, you know? But Florida man, that meme is a real thing. And I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of that kind of ridiculousness going on. Yeah, some governors and the governors in their states can really decide what rules their state's gonna abide by, and they can definitely open it up. Alright, since I gotta get a swig of water, I want to show you guys my water bottle. Finally put the stickers on. From Gboards, MX Bad. Got Lucio, one of my mains in Overwatch. Got some Lazy Dog stickers. Got Winston, main tank. This one's really funny. This is Boba Fett. I gotta show you a Boba Fett. He has a Boba Fett. Zarya. Some other keyboard stickers. Prime KB, NK, 1UP. I just buy a bunch of stuff. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I wish I was, but they just take my money. And Gatoron. Is it safe to say that Lucio is a copy of Lucian from League? Probably. I'm pretty sure League came out for Overwatch, yeah? Keone. I'm not sure. I've been buying a bunch of stuff and it just came up in my stack. I got it recently. I think I bought inks. I think that's where it came from when I ordered my inks in the last batch. Yep. I really like the holographic too. Reminds me of Pokemon card days. Unlucky. Honestly, my favorite sticker is the alpaca. I need a RAMA sticker. Lala, I need to buy something from RAMA first. RAMA's expensive. That's unfortunate in Hong Kong. I was able to buy something from someone from Canada, but it makes sense that some shippers aren't shipping to other countries because private shipments are fine, but when you have a customer that wants something at a regular, reasonable time, I think most people that are selling commercially are limiting within their own borders, limiting to within their own borders. I always get tripped out on the stepped caps lock. Alright, so before I start soldering, I definitely want to check the space bar. Let's leave this in. This is something from RAMA, but if there's a sticker in here, it will not belong to me. What the heck? You got extra caps? I didn't get these when I ordered. Shoot. Looks like some cool flat caps. Yeah, so he shipped out everything over to me. I'm gonna watch out. Let's unbox this. Nathan, I know you asked us on the Discord. Plate mount and stabs, they can sound okay when lubed properly, but they're not gonna sound as smooth. Yo, this is unopened completely. Right. I think this is the right one. It's a little tough opening these staples. It's just like straight up stapled. Let's just replay this. So there's this staple right here. I guess you can use a staple remover, but I don't have one. So I'm just gonna stick a screwdriver here. Just kind of wedge it.
Never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right.
Oh, I just completely ruined all the frames. Yeah, I heard about the new packaging. Didn't Nathan eat some of it? Free Hong Kong, yeah, I agree with you. Like, I don't know how they'll be able to change the design to not take screw in. That's why I was asking Nathan, yo, check to see if that looks like that. To see if they, to see the specs of the original one on AliExpress. Yeah, that's not the right one. Confirmed. Confirmed. You can have it all. Watch me rip it off. I'll admit it. You got me feeling hella loved. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one. I can feel it in my heart. Yeah, I won't stop charging. We going come harder. I can see it. One click, you die. Donate another $1. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Okay, why is it just not popping up?
This is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl.
I think it's good.
So I can only say that it feels right.
Let me make sure this switch is seated properly. This is the same stabs I used before, so I don't know why I have an issue. Gonna make sure the wire's in there properly. So this is sticky. They might have warp. I'm gonna grab another GMK, a space bar, because when you have PBT keycaps and they have warping, you might have issues where it just doesn't return properly, which is why I moved out of ePBT keycaps. But it works, it's cheap, and it works for a lot of people, so I'm gonna go grab a GMK set. Dude, just like focus on my back, my bad. Alright, so the spacebar has some warping, unfortunately, because this returns properly. This is a GMK ABS keycap. It feels even on the right and left. How you can tell that is warping is, let's take this off. Alright, so warping PBT, ePBT specifically. So I'm right here. I'm pressing this. Let's get this up here. I'm pressing it. It's returning properly. I move to the left. It's like much slower. It's like the sound is almost different. It just drags, and that's because of a curvature in the ePBT keycap. So for this build, for the sound test, I'm just going to use this. And off stream, I'm going to be doing the flattening thing. The KBD fans. They did a video, they posted a video of just heating it up with water or a blow dryer and putting some weight on it. I'll do that for my client because I want him to have a good experience. Try my best. My experience is that it's not permanent, but we'll keep this out so we can get that done. But for all you beginners that are building your first boards and you experience something like that, that is why. It's because of a warped spacebar. And that's just because of the material. It's light, because it's a longer piece of plastic. More likely than not, it'll have that issue. It happens with all ePBT. CRP is a little better about it, but if you don't want any of that warping, you gotta go ABS minimum, and then you have to think about whether or not you want to do GMK, which is really expensive, unfortunately. Trying to flatten this out so I can put it away properly. Lala Island asks if the client bought the RAMA keycap. They did. They already had it. Nathan, what's wrong with the commands? Keyboard. Oh, I don't have that command. I don't have it live, I don't think. Let me just type it real quick. Angry Fisherman, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. I appreciate it. Alright, let me add this to my Streamlabs real quick. Yeah, does anyone have any questions about the warping in ePBT? Hopefully, I was trying to explain that so people would understand. Okay, I added the keyboard command, and then yeah, like some people have had luck with it being a permanent fix, but it's been my experience that even leaving it under a weight all night, at least with the water method, it didn't stick. So I'm gonna try to do the blow jar method for my clients today and give them a better chance. And the thing is, even if it's not perfectly fixed, it can still work. You'll see a small curvature, but as long as it sounds consistent across the spacebar and it returns properly, it doesn't really matter. Just want to make sure that both pins for every switch are showing through, because if they're not, that means I've bent some pins. Alright, looks like we're good. So what I try to do is I press down on. Ooh. This is really big. Alright. So I try to press down on every switch to make sure it's seated properly. Nathan, that question, if anyone else wants to chime in, I highly recommend the Guide Around Blanks from mechanicalkeyboards.com. I mean, honestly, if you're trying to save some money, maybe see what's available on Mech Market. But I think that's the best bet. Let's wait for this to heat up again. It takes a while to heat up with a smaller smaller soldering iron, but it's the cost of convenience. As you can tell, it probably takes like 20-30 seconds. Another thing about this iron is that the cable is so heavy, it kind of like pulls you. So have some slack on it, but just know that the iron is actually lighter than the cable, which is weird. So it's not as easy to move around as, say, a Hakko iron that's kind of separate. It has its own kind of easy to use rubber cable. This is just a braided USB cable. USB A to USB C.
We are dreaming in the dark. We are nothing more than dust. Search but you stay lost. We are
Free Hong Kong. If I were you, I would also be thoroughly miffed. But I was telling Nathan that, dude, you're gonna be fine. Just submit a refund request. I should have some solder wick available. So I've been using this in my last stream. Solder wick help cleans it up. I have a joint that's bubbling, so I'm gonna just heat it with the solder wick and kind of clean it up. And after you're done using it, wait 1 second. I want to put these keycaps away before they fall off. So you heat the wick, and then you cut off the end that just sucked up the solder. Ooh, burned myself. Just a little bit. Welcome back, Eddie. Yeah, it was like a Windows setting. Angry Fisherman, thanks for the follow. Should I come up with like a name for Andy Nation or something stupid like that? Thank you for joining ATT Nation. You can start a Reddit thread for Drop. Drop actually goes on to Reddit. They have a guy. I think his job is to focus on publicity and PR, I mean public relations. Pretty good dude. So what I'm trying to do is just solder the corners and then the middle. Now I'm gonna do the sides and then I'll just work through rows. Yeah, onto what Keone said, I probably would have recognized it if it was plate mount, because it was going up against the monster gear, which is plate mount stabs. And I distinctly remember saying like, oh, at least these are a PCB mount. One click you die. Oh, is that you, random box on box? Yeah, I would not know. Oh, well, everyone, one click you die is the recipient of this board, or the person that will have it, that will become the owner. Yeah, when people have different Twitch names, it's confusing. So I hit the sides, and now I'm going to do row by row. There's like many ways to do this. I kind of change it up every time. What I'm also doing is trying to center everything onto the mat, because solder actually pops off, and I don't want it on my mat. Because it bubbles, you know, it gets to its melting point. Well, One Click You Die, thank you for the donations. Even though you already pay me to build this board for you. Glad you can make it to see this happen. I know it's a few hours ahead over there. Lala Island asks, do you know anyone that has a good guide on keyboard sounds? What specifically? Like different case materials and different plate materials and switches? One Click You Die, it's no problem, man. I love helping people. And I'm glad that this can go into the hands of someone that would appreciate it. Because with a board this cheap, it's likely that if I sell it, someone will try to buy it at a low price and then just flip it back to the market. Because it definitely punches above its weight. It's a solid board. I like that it has the acrylic sound, but still has the aluminum appearance, so you can work better with keycaps. Yeah, Lala Island. I think if you can hear what a bad stabilizer sounds like, so a bad spacebar, that'll kind of help you understand what sounds good and what sounds bad. So go to my sound test and listen to the keys. Those got bad spacebars. No offense to the key owners, but you know that the spacebar sounds bad if you're a key owner. Yeah, for me, I don't really understand the difference in the key codes either. I can barely keep up with the names. But sounding hollow is typically not a good thing. So if you listen to my IDV60 and you listen for the hollowness, it's a very cheap board, so it does not sound good. The creams sound good if you like the cream sound, but the board itself does not sound good. The IDV60 is known for its typing experience and not its typing sound. Missed a pin right here. Yeah, basically, Lala, it's gonna be hard to determine these things without feeling the board, because sometimes sound is gonna be dependent on how it feels. Like, you give up kind of like the thick, deep sound if you have a hollow board, but sometimes it just feels better that way. So it's like worth it. But sound by itself, yeah, I guess you can judge from sound tests. This board will definitely be an upgrade, One Click. I let my friend try it at work, and she loved it. Compared to the Dell membrane keyboard that she was given for work, way better. And you got switches lubed by the Master Zen. He's gotten pretty good reviews recently from other customers, so I'm interested to see for myself after I put this board together, put the switches or put the keycaps on, and get a quick sound test. Yeah, Lala, so basically if you listen to KBD fans boards, go listen to that against a key cult of the same form factor. So compare a TKL to a TKL, so it's like a fair comparison. See how it sounds. Hollowness is something you experience or you hear in a lot of cheaper boards. Ping as well, especially if it has like a brass weight or a brass plate. It was just the KBD-67 that had a weight that pinged all by itself. That was quite unfortunate. It would be easy to hear with headphones, but in person it's always better, Lala. Yeah, the vintage boards from the 90s. Well, honestly, any stock keyboard given to you at work, it's not gonna be lubed. I don't know if it's just this hobby, but lubed is better. This thing isn't like sitting in here. Can I just turn this? Oh snap, this is optimum right here. I can still see the temperature and I can just stick it in. Good thing it's a circle. Lala, when's your first board coming in? Maybe July. What board is that? Man, July is so far away. What's up, AE my sec? Me check my sec? Ooh, good boards, Lala. But they come with heavy lead times. My sec. Cool. Welcome. Lala says they're gonna try for iron, key cult, key 65 in between. Dude, everyone's gonna be trying for that key cult. Me too. Is that when your birthday is? In July? You better get a refund on that being born, man. This year has made me question a lot of things. Not my own birth, but just... Yo, the world's a rough place. A lot of bad news this year. What's up, Soji Osu? I feel like I got like glue in my hands because I was putting together this 3D printed holder. Oops. Gotta make sure I don't eat with my hands. Yeah, this thing is still heating up. I changed the temperature to 330 real quick. And of course it would have to heat up. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone staying sane inside? Keep yourself busy? I've been picking up video games, man. Normally I'm too busy, but I ain't going anywhere. It gives me another chance to create content for the viewers as well. Hopefully y'all can come through, hang out with me on game streams as well. But I'll be doing a lot of like sit down talks too. Just hanging out with the followers, the subs. Like, I'll be desoldering on one stream, and that'll be a quick one, but I'll just hang out, talk. Cause I got a SCOG to rebuild for my buddy. Yeah, it'd definitely be like that, man. All the Steam sales, summer sales, and you just buy it and like, oh yeah, I'll play that later. Next thing you know, you got a full library of them. I hopped back on my OG game, Guild Wars 2. I started like 6 years back. And luckily for me, I still got some buddies that play, so I can hop in with them. They've been playing all this time, or got back to it more recently or earlier than I did, so I can go on raids and stuff without having to invest all that time to know what the hell that means. And they got like an active guild. It's pretty cool. Playing to socialize with other people too. You never opened it, Lala? Dude, like maybe if you're trying to sell it, my buddy can get it for someone since he's so into the game. One click you die, yeah, I agree. I hop on to play PvP these days. I got the hang of it, finally. Before I was really bad at it. But Lala, if you had just like opened it and made characters, they would have all these birthday rewards. But if you never opened it, you ain't got nothing. So when I came back after 6 years, I got all these like birthday gifts. And I got all these rare dyes and stuff. It was really cool. Dude, Guns was dope. Guns was crazy. It's like, I think it was like FPS Fortnite before it was a thing. All those combos and and stuff with like the slashing and the guns that you execute and just like fly around people. That was so fun. I don't know if Guns is still live, but I feel like my buddy still plays. But it was like 2 years ago when I saw. People still play MapleStory. That surprised me too. I downloaded it, then I was like, nah, I can't do this. If I still have an old character, maybe. But I couldn't figure out the login. Or maybe I had the same login, but someone deleted all my stuff. This has been so long. Can't remember what email I used to use back then. Free Hong Kong, go ahead. I don't know what the bot's gonna do to it, but I think it should permit it. Alright, cool. Yeah, for everyone, Free Hong Kong just posted a link. Please click it and give it an upvote. Drop apparently changed the Idabao's stabilizer situation. They changed the design after people already committed their money. So that's a no-go. We don't want to let that happen to the people of our community and just for any customer in general. So try to upvote for visibility so that they can do something about it. Or at least have people know about it, because some people may not know that there was a change at all. And they're gonna get an unfortunate surprise later on. Alright, so one of these pads I like overfilled and over soldered. So I'm gonna use the, what is this? This wick again. It's where the there's different options for the mods. So that's not working. I'll just use the cell to pull it. It is always a pain, but it's good to have it on hand as an option. Dang it, I missed it. Alright, that's good enough for me. As long as I'm not covering the hole. Who said this? Nick. Would be nice to have a desoldering gun right about now. Yeah. Well, I do. My friend dropped it off to rebuild his board. but since it's just one, it's a little bit of a hassle. Alright, screw it. We can get that set up. So this is a desolder tool. I'm borrowing it from my buddy who's in this chat streak. Set it to dial 1. Yeah, it's a $250 big boy that I cannot afford just yet. My buddy has one. He's a little bit more of a baller than I am. If I turn it on, there's a light. Make sure you know that it's on. Don't accidentally burn yourself. I actually burned myself the other day. A few weeks ago, actually. So let's clean off the tip. Brass tip cleaner. And that's it. Yeah, so I'm really lucky to be in SoCal. I have a buddy in Orange County that has a desolder tool, and I have a buddy in LA that also has a desolder tool. I still want my own because of me starting commissions. So that's where all the donation money is going to go. Thank you, Nick, for being one of the first donations. And also One Click and Cassie. I'm gonna have to check on these keys because of the weird options. It's like it's really easy to overflow, but they should still work. It looks like I got all the pins, so I'm gonna check visually, see if there's any that can be cleaned up. You gotta make sure the pad is fully covered, or else the switch won't actuate. So it looks good. I'm gonna unplug this right now. Turn this over. USB-C, and grab one of those cables. So I'm gonna open up QMK configurator. The Alpacas, I like to call them nipple switches. Alright. Let's see. Test keyboard. Window capture. Is this the right one? Why do I even have... Alright, here we go. Let's turn this on. Moment of truth. Let's see if I did a good job soldering. Oh, these sound good even without these caps on. Yeah. Gray? Don't judge, man. Everybody needs love. Just kidding. I mean, they aren't like tan. I guess you can make creams with alpaca. I gotta make sure I change the configuration of this board. Because of, I changed the caps lock to be function, and I'm sure Random Box is not gonna appreciate having my key settings or key map. It looks like everything works, so we're good. I'm still gonna check a few of the joints just to make sure, because one of my other builds, it wasn't until after that we realized one of the switches didn't work. And I realized that was because the joint wasn't fully soldered. Lala, you're in like the Philippines, right? Super far. I can't find my way back to you. We'll let this heat up. Maybe I can start my cleanup. So because we're doing a commission, let's do a little bit of cleaning with some isopropyl alcohol and some Q-tips. Lala, you live in America? My bad. Confused you with someone else. Where are you at in America? Oh shoot. I dropped all my lube on the floor. That's also something that will get me demonetized on YouTube. Kansas City. That's a little rough. Basically, it's the Philippines. Just kidding. Yes, it's a little tougher being in a non-big city. Lack of meetups and stuff. Kansas City especially feels very far. Just gonna keep wiping until this Q-tip is fully dried out. So what the solder I actually use and the solder that I link in my kit.co page is actually no clean solder. So you don't have to do this for your joints, but because this keyboard is display back, meaning the bottom piece is acrylic, so you can see it. You can see the PCB, especially if it's white. I learned this from my buddy Merlin. It looks much cleaner if you clean it up. So now that let this heat up again, I'm gonna check the joints, make sure they're all covered, or the pads, make sure they're all covered. Let's see. So that they can't possibly have any issues. Cause I don't know, like, I was able to keyboard test the Rukia, but then one of the switches didn't work after. Super weird. Gotta double check your work. I might add more to these mods. They look a little skinny. Right. So we're at 330 degrees. Turn this fan back on. I think we're good here. I'll put this aside. But because I just fixed one switch, I want to make sure it's still working. Let's reset this page. Yep, all good. So now I can disconnect this. Yeah, Merlin usually does it on most of his boards. Clean the flux. It's not necessary, but I especially want to do it now. So I'm using a Q-tip so I can get around all the diodes and stuff. Because if you use a paper towel, you get caught and it'll just snag and be ugly. So when I was talking about the bubbling earlier, you're gonna see little bits of solder everywhere. Just like bubbling up and landing on the PCB. And if you get this on your PC case, like a PC material keyboard, don't scratch it off with your nail. You'll scuff your PC. My buddy learned this the hard way. The isopropyl alcohol kind of loosens it up a bit, so it can be swiped away. I'm using 91%. Dude, I got some isopropyl alcohol on one of my cuts and it burned really bad. I didn't know I had a cut until I started cleaning. Yeah. It's like, especially since in the early announcements of coronavirus, I was still going to the gym before they start shutting everything down. So after, I'd be really paranoid because it's so dirty in there. I would use the hand sanitizer at 24 Hour Fitness. I would use a lot of it, and I would find out I had cuts. Probably from washing my hands so much at home and drying it out. The irony. And if you notice, I'm using my mat to drip the alcohol over because I don't want it to land on my Deskmat. This is my new Deskmat, by the way, from Dixie. I'm having a little bit of frustration with this mat because you can tell on the camera it is not gray. It's supposed to be gray. They had an issue with the printing of the mats, and they reprinted it and made me wait a month to get them in. And it's brown. It's pretty clearly brown. There's a pretty heavy magenta tint to it. I'm working it out with a vendor. They're telling me it's supposed to be gray, but I am a photographer. I have a color chart and I have really specifically calibrated equipment, and I also have a pair of eyes, and I do not think it is gray. The thing is, they advertised it as gray. They said they fixed it, and it does not match the renders. And my light that I'm using right now is daylight balanced. My camera is set to a daylight Kelvin, and it should not look. It should look accurate. One click you die. I definitely agree. Nathan, I'm talking about my Deskmat. Ooh, I spilled a bunch of isopropyl alcohol. So this mat right here. Tell me if you think that's gray. This is gray. By the way, this is the color of the mat, or this is the color that the mat should be. But my Skull's Deskmat is not that color.
So take my hand, join the army of the shadows.
Yeah, so what I do is I took, you know how vendors have renders? Right. I took their photo actually, I compared it side by side, and they're not the same color. Because renders they tend to be inaccurate, you know? They're renders. So I took their photo that they posted of the Deskmat in a desk study, compared it side by side. I'm like, this is not correct. And of course, if you take a picture with an iPhone has automatic settings, so I can use my camera. The camera right up there, this camera. Pretty nice camera, I think. This is the color of my skin, proper color, yeah. Use that, use the color chart, use my really expensive light, and it's not gray. It's just not at all. Thank you, That Shark Twitch, for following. I appreciate you. Yeah, it was really frustrating. because they told me like, hey, we used our studio or our softbox. Thank you, AE My Sec. Thank you for following. Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we used our studio or soft or what was it, Lightbox? I'm like, okay, you have a Lightbox? I have a studio. And I checked it out. I gave them a raw file. I white balanced it, color corrected it, everything. Looked at different monitors. Not gray. Not as pink or magenta as their original misprint, but unfortunately, it seems like the new print is a little bit off as well. Yeah, when I take a picture with my iPhone, like a desk setting with the lamp on, the iPhone doesn't know what to do with the lamp. Ends up making all my photos kind of orangish. I'm just gonna do another swipe of this. Visually, it looks clean enough. That's all that matters for this. Make sure there's just no chunks of flux anywhere. The random box, if you want to clean this further, you can do this on your own. You can take it apart with this Phillips head screwdriver. Uses 1 bit type. You don't have to have a hex key. And you can go in and clean up the joints if you wish, but I'm just letting you know that the solder or the flux will not affect the performance of the board over a period of time. That's definitely a smarter way to do it. But I just kind of like mop it up after. Now you can take it apart, man. It's just a piece of electronic. I wouldn't advise like soldering it or desoldering it. Alright. So this is stacked acrylic. So what I'm gonna do. Nathan asked if we can see it with the keycaps on without the top. Yeah, we can do that. Viewer request. Looks like I can screw it in without interfering. Hey, one click you died. Do you want it with the yellow accents? Or do you want it all muted? Nah, it's not an issue, man. Welcome, welcome, Jax. Thank you for stopping by. Good luck on your GB as well. Have a good night. This is RAMA Heavy Industry. It is an ePBT set. And this is too thick. I never got into like SA and DSA caps. I'm very interested in trying some cat though. I told my fiance I'd be done in under 2 hours, and we're getting close to the 2 hour mark. She's gonna be pissed. But she also knows my estimates are always inaccurate. Alright, so one click said you can always change them. One click, did you get a keycap puller by any chance? Yeah, these staples suck. Major suck. Yeah, there's a lot of cat sets that look nice. I agree. But I also don't want to test them myself. I'd rather have my friends do it, and then if it's good, I'll go buy them later. Alright, one click, I'll drop in a keycap puller into your package. This one right here, KBD fans gave me one. You can have it. But you will need a switch puller at some point. Don't worry about that, but you can use this to change out your caps. Cat is a profile of keycap. It's just a newer one. Alright, so we're going with artist choice. Like I said before, we're gonna have to use a GMK keycap here. What else do I need from this? Shipped. Arrows. Cat is PBT and it sounds pretty good. I forgot what this board is supposed to look like. So hopefully I put these in the right spots. And thick is good. Are these all the same row height? No, they're not. True. This is GMK dots. Where is it? There we go. I need to look up the I think I can look up my own Instagram photo. Shameless plug when we were looking at my Instagram to find my post. Did I even post it? Yeah, I don't think I posted it. So, 1 second. TX Keyboards? They posted it. Damn, they've been busy. Alright, this is the original build. I just need to check what the caps are. End at the bottom? And page down, page up. Home delete. I think the delete is in the other set. I think this is the wrong size shift. If you can tell, it's definitely gonna interfere. Maybe not. No, it is. Let me put this away. Alright, let me just get the other set so I can put most of the keycaps on and I'll just see what's missing. I drop some keycaps. Yeah, it's using like 1.5U or 1.25U, something like that. So let's get the shorter caps in here. It'll be code. And then a alt. Perfect. I definitely think it's a shorter shift. That looks right. That looks proper. Now there's actually space for the question mark. Nathan asked, why did you have to file your think plates? I had to file this plate. This acrylic plate. Because for some reason, we found out after the fact that it was snap in, stab only. Which is no good. Because I was expecting screw and stabs. Are you talking about the Ida, the one from Drop, Nathan? It depends on the material of the plate. Isn't it an aluminum top? I don't know how they can just say it's plate mount without changing the design though. Doesn't the plate have to be designed in such a way that it can take a stab? I'm not too informed on plate mount stabs. They really changed the design. Alright, if you're comfortable with filing aluminum, let me know, but that's sketchy. I wouldn't buy something with knowing that I'd have to do that labor, because it sucks. But if your budget is kind of restricts you to just using that board, then it is what it is, and if you have the skills and the tools to do it safely, main point being safely, go for it, man. Superior Kimchi, I do not, sorry. This is my first commission. That's the wrong key there. Oh, that is the right key. I will be putting it up shortly. I have to get it organized. I was working on it before the stream, but I ran out of time. Make sure you join my Discord, Superior Kimchi. I'll be posting it up in there. Once I get it up, I'll be putting it up on my Twitch page as well. Where's my caps lock? Yeah, no problem. I remember when I had to do my first build and it was just so scary. And I'll try to keep my prices reasonable for beginners, just so they can get something working and then they can learn to like tinker with it from there. But kind of just starting and having to solder and everything all in one go is pretty scary. Shoot, even when I had to do a hot swap as my first board, I was scared too. I asked for help. Okay. I definitely won't be charging for a hot swap. You can just pay shipping for that if you really need, but I can probably coach you remotely via Discord or something on how to do it. I need 2 more keys. The pipe key, the proper pipe key, and the caps lock key. Yeah, unfortunately there's like, I'd like to have the dots over here too, but there's like 5 and it wouldn't make sense to do music somewhere unless I do music and 4 dots. AE MySex says if SA Jade Out was a cat kit, it would be instant buy. SA just feels weird. Isn't that the really tall one? Spirit Kimchi asks, what are my preferred switches? Dude, these are pretty sick. Alpacas. They're a great buy. Good price. They sound good. Just remember this is GMK Olive spacebar. The one in the set needs to be fixed a little bit. Alright, let's plug it in. We're gonna keep it like this. Pretty simple. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it like this. Yeah, SA is extremely tall. Alright, so I'm gonna plug it in. It's gonna be full acrylic. I'm not gonna screw it in like this. Stacked acrylic. Per the request, I just want to show how it looks. That's how it would look if it were a full acrylic board. Let me turn off the light real quick too and do that. What's up, Luca Low 44? This is how it would look if you were to perhaps take the top and make it full acrylic. Thanks for the follow, V-Bass Spencer. You had a question. I just built my first board, made it 6% with parts, mostly ePBT fans. Although I ordered the round plate, so I have non-standard layout, so it's quite simple. Okay, cool. I'm glad you made it through. What was wrong with, what was a different plate for it? What's the layout that you have? Thanks for the follow, Will. The final assembly of this board is pretty easy. Let's take a Phillips head. It's hashing slasher. I couldn't read that I. Thanks for the sub. I appreciate you. The brown mat, man. This freaking mat has got me so tilted today. And every other keyboard designer has been lying to me about colors. Quite frustrating. Because I'm so sensitive to it. Alright, with the caps on, it's going to be a little tricky to screw this in. Because it's a little bit taller now. Ooh, shorter left shift, huh? That's definitely non-standard. Am I taking some getting used to? Are you going to ask them to send you the right one, Spencer? Yeah, the DZ60s have so many freaking configurations. It's so daunting for a beginner, honestly. My first KBD fans board was just a KBD67 Mark II, which was locked in one layout. And it was a standard ANC for hot swap. I feel bad for people who had issues with other ones. When screwing into PC or acrylic, be careful about over tightening. Right now I can't over tighten because it's not even catching. So for this, it is stacked acrylic, but the top is going to be a little bit more in, and so is the bottom. So as long as the two middle pieces are aligned, you're good. I'm doing the corners first, so I can make sure it's aligned. KennyN 1212 1212, thank you for the follow. Appreciate you. So when I get in the two corners, I can like move it laterally a little bit, kind of straighten it out. Superior Kimchi is now following. Thank you for the follow. Hopefully I can help get you sorted with the build request. Hash singing slasher. I should get a schedule coming up, but I think I can do Sunday mornings. So on the weekends I'm going to try for like an 11 to 12 o'clock. And weekdays I'll probably do a Wednesday, Thursday. I'll put it up on my Twitch channel. But it's on the weekend I'll try to go for one that's non-US people can attend. And during the week it's going to be after work. So like 6 or 7 o'clock PST. Hashtag and slasher, where are you from? What's your time zone right now? It's kind of late today, but I had a pretty rough week at work and I just needed some time to myself. And this is fun. It is fun, but it is also kind of it takes a lot of my energy to kind of stay focused and be able to stream live to people. It takes a lot of brain power. So I was kind of procrastinating a little bit. Silent Impulse has followed. Thank you for the follow, Silent Impulse. I do have a full-time job as a civil engineer, so I gotta do this around that schedule. Might be where asked if I picked up the 7V. I did not pick up the 7V because I'm already a happy owner of the Satisfaction 75 Dixiemat Board of the Year. Yeah, I always like question like, why do people want to talk while build streaming? I just want to get it done, which is true. But I'm happy to be able to talk and help people get their questions answered in this crazy hobby of mechs. And if I can help people, it makes it worth it. So right now we have a built board. Let's just move the trash out of the way. Turn off my desolder tool, or soldering iron. Might be where it says your satisfaction is truly endgame, to be honest. I agree. That's why I'm happy that I have it, so I don't have to be hunting for other boards and enter more group buys and wait, and just it's stressful getting boards. I don't like shopping for a board. I don't like waiting for a board. I was lucky enough to get in on extras, so I got the whole experience of getting this amazing board without the waits. But it was first come first serve, and it was pretty wild ride to get it. All right. So let me do something real quick. Do I have the suo? Oh, this sounds freaking good. I need to sound test this fast. my god. Alright. I'm used to a split backspace, so I'm gonna mess up the typing test. Yeah, I don't want to enter another group by. Ivan, got any recommendations for inexpensive 6% PCBs I can acquire in the States? Check out Canon keys and 1M keyboards. I believe they're both based out of the United States. Canon keys being East Coast, 1M keyboards somewhere. See if they have 6%. Yo, I should keep this board. Just kidding. One click you die. You better enjoy this board. Having it built with new switches breathes new life into it. I got used to the old one. The got yellows. This sounds amazing. So let's turn off the music. All right. Is my hair messed up? Alright, so for the sound test, let's bring this down. I need some extra slack in this cable. Get it right there. Why is it on my email? Let's turn that off. Yeah, these are for indicator LEDs. I don't have them. I didn't solder them when I built it. It's pretty cool if you're into that. Indicator LEDs. I don't have the LEDs. I don't use them anyway. Trying to find my browser. Alright, here we go. Ivan. Thanks for the follow, Fizzello. Alright, we're gonna do a sound test real quick. This is the my mics. My arm is gonna fall off. The arm for the mic. This is the TX HJ-75. It's aluminum top, acrylic, stacked acrylic bottom. It is built with Alpacas, Lubed film by Sen Chen. I don't know how to say his name, but he did a great job. From what I can hear, I'm gonna do a full sound test. We can all experience together. And here we go. Hopefully my mic doesn't fall down. Oh God. All right. Let me move this aside. My mic's about to fall off. What do you guys think of the HJ-75? Let's check the chat. Hopefully Ivan has bought the Practice 60. Lala says GMK Frostwitch is calling my name. Frostwitch looks good. Hope you enjoy that sound. I hit 143. Carl hits 150 on freaking typing or 10 fast fingers. You wild. I can't keep up with that. 100 words is pretty short compared to that. Fazella says it looks like Master of All Control. They do both have the like side panel RGB, or is like that acrylic show through, whatever. But this board is way nicer. Harage says changing my mind about acrylic. The acrylic thock is super unique, and if you love that sound, oh yeah, go for acrylic. Gather on ink in acrylic is so deep, so thocky. One Click You Die says that sounds amazing to my ears. I'm glad you think so, because this is your board, man. What do you mean Freehand All Control are the best mechanical gaming keyboard you can buy? Don't say that too loudly, people are going to believe it. Hash Singin' Slash says those mod keys are so good. Thank you. Ivan TH says I'm buying. Did you get it? Confirm it before you come back. Don't come back till you have it confirmed. One Click You Die, and I'll never do a just typing test that fast, dude. It's only 143. If I want fast, I can do the 50. Luco Low 44 says holy moly. Fazella says what case is that? This is the TX HJ-75. It was $111. I think it was $100 actually before shipping. $14 shipping. Hash Singin' Slasher. Yes, only 143. Let me try to flex a little bit. I'll do a little bit faster. But keep in mind, I'm used to a split backspace. The typos. Close to 160, which is typically my average when I just go. My dog just like hacked. But it's typically, I hit around 160 on 50 words if I'm just going in cold. If I go try hard, I can hit like 170s, but 160s is pretty much where I end. My buddy who just talked in the chat, he could hit 150 on 10 fast fingers, which is a 1 minute test. 1 minute test, I can't keep up the speed. I keep getting typos. Let's see. Fazzello says, have you tried Kalebox Navies? I have not. I have not tried any clicky switches. I tried a few tactiles, Holy Pandas, and T1s specifically, and I ended up not liking them that much. 80 WPM. Try to get to that 100. 100 is such a nice kind of milestone for typing speed. My sex as sicko mode. Fazell, if you love box navies, you love them, but I live with my fiance and there's no like walls, so I don't want to be making too much noise. Nathan says, how much can you do on Typeracer? Typeracer is stressful, man. Competing with people live, it trips me out. I haven't done that in a while. My sex says, if you want raw tactility, box heavies are good. I'm like out of the tactility game. I just want them to be as smooth as possible. Oh yeah, punctuation. That's trippy, yeah. Hash Singin' Slasher says, do I like tingies? I don't. They're boring. They sound really boring. They're extremely smooth, but they sound so boring. I can't get into them, unfortunately. They're the restockings. Alright. So Nathan wants me to do Typeracer. I'll compete with others. It's chill, but I'm gonna embarrass myself now. Is it typeracer.com? Alright. We'll do this. Typing tests of openings of books. Oh, that is crazy. Because people that write stories, they're very verbose. Okay. Oh geez, that was so hard. Did I kill them? I wasn't even looking. I was so stressed. I was like, I'm not used to where the backspace key is. I use split backspace. I'm used to this being backspace. Oh man. Oh, my heart is pumping. My heart rate is up, man. My heart rate is definitely up. My sec, the hobby is definitely about preference. If you like the sound of tingies, great. You got lube them and film them, and they'll sound pretty good, but I think they sound pretty similar to any lube linear. They don't have enough character for me. Even Gateron inks, they don't really have character either. They just sound like pretty consistent switches. But I like inks most, Alpacas second, and the creams I'm actually desoldering, so we're going to try to do something else. I'm going to try some Western Mint Blacks. Alright, let's see what the rest of the chat is saying. Might be where it asks, what keycaps do you prefer in terms of feel or sound? Sound, I love PBT keycaps, and I definitely prefer CRP keycaps over ePBT. CRP keycaps are super thocky, love the sound. But even R1 and R2, they've had a lot of issues, so I'm not into that. I'm waiting for them to kind of ship out their latest GB run, which had a lot of issues due to coronavirus. And if they're good, I'll be purchasing them secondhand market. Free Hong Kong says, I might have a way to make Tangy sound good. I'll keep you updated when I get my hands on them. Yeah, let me know if you can make them sound good. I think putting all my stems in makes them sound worse. Merlin used to do books for typing tests. That's too wild. Fizzello says Cat PBT are best keycaps. I'm waiting to get my hands on them secondhand, or maybe go to a meetup and see if anyone has them. I don't want to do it myself. I don't want to commit the money. I'm very scared. Yeah, the punctuation and having to go back to correct words on that Typeracer, especially if I'm not used to the backspace position, unfortunate. Nathan asked, what are GMK keycaps? You're kidding, right? ABS keycaps made by a German company called GMK. Best saturation, best colors, very thick, 1.5 millimeter, I believe. It's the same thickness as ePBT. I prefer having GMK keycaps over PBT because ePBT specifically has a lot of issues with warping, which I've experienced right now. The spacebar for this set, this is the GMK Olive. You can see a different color. This is the GMK Olive spacebar. I had to go fix the ePBT spacebar for my client. Yeah, GMK is ABS keycaps. Did he ask specifically PBT or GMK? Yeah. I prefer CRP PBT over ePBT and GMK over ePBT. So if there's nothing available, you can't get your hands on CRP because you don't like it or something, then you can get ePBT. But spacebars are going to be an issue. Luckily, the latest set I got, which is the GOK ePBT black on white, has no issues with the spacebar. So I'm happy to try that on my board. Chuckona asked GMK over CRP. Dude, I like the aesthetics of GMK more. And in terms of sound, GMK is pretty thick, so it sounds pretty good. But it's hard. Depends on the switch. If I'm going for a thocky sound, then I will get CRP. CRP on spacebar sounds just so good. Nathan says, to how cubic keycaps use our ABS and they're pretty good. Yeah, the cubic keycap is a pretty good buy. It's just taller. If you can get used to it, it's fine. Might be where it says it's true. The warp on it is a massive no-no. It makes your spacebar sounds rally or scratchy. Dude, for this one, I think I put it away. Let's see if it works now. But before I soldered it in and put the plate in, it just wouldn't return properly. Another tip, when I take off spacebars, I take off the 2 mods next to it first. Because I don't like to just pivot on one side because you can have issues with popping out wires that way. Let's unplug this so I don't spam. Is this the right spacebar? Yeah, it just... That's an issue. That is the issue of warping. You see this? It never came back up. It just sat. One Click donated another $5. Thank you, One Click. Make sure you guys check out his channel. It is Random Box Unbox on YouTube. He gave me a note. He says, thank you for all of your help throughout this process. I'm very excited for the board. I hope you enjoy. I gotta fix your spacebar cap for you, cause that ain't good. It just doesn't come back up. Let's try it flipped. Nope. My CRP didn't have any warp issues, but it's because ePBT is cheaper, so they just have more issues with QC. CRP would be better. Yeah, sorry, One Click. I'll fix this for you. So let me see. There's definitely bowing in the middle of the 6.25U spacebar. It just happens when you get ePBT. It's unfortunate, but it is fixable. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna have this for 2 days, right? So tonight I'm gonna do the blow dryer method because I can't ship this out till Monday anyway. I'm gonna do the blow dryer method. Then I'm gonna put a weight over it. I usually put my studio monitors on top of it because they're pretty heavy. And then we'll see if that works. And if that doesn't work, we'll give it another try with the hot water method. And this should be fine. I've never had... So here's the thing with ePBT. It warps. It goes back to being a little warped. But I typically don't have issues with it not returning. Typically, I find that if you have a warps... If you want to check if you have a warp in your spacebar, what you do is you press one end. If the other side uplifts, that means there's warping in it. And I typically don't, if I force it like that, it'll come out. But when I'm typing across it, typically after I do the fix, it's reliable, it's consistent. But unfortunately, it's a fact of ePBT. And I can help you find another GMK set too, a little cheaper if you want to consider that. But ePBT, it's a known issue. Be careful when you buy something. Know that it's possible and you can fix it. Well, I haven't had too much luck. Mentally, Vizela said, mentally told me the cat alphas were the only public cat caps as of right now. I don't follow cats, so I'm not sure. Ivan, anyone know of Cankeys discount codes? I do not know of any discount codes. Might be where it says loosen the screws on the spacebar stabs. Thank you for that. I'll give it a try. Thinking about it. Yeah, I'll give it a try. Nathan says the warping is not as bad depending on where you type. Yeah. Sometimes if the spot where you type actually hit the spacebar, for me it'd be my left thumb because I'm a gamer. It won't affect the warping, so you can kind of ignore it. Cairo says my heavy industry spacebar was warped as well. Hot water made it usable, but still popped out if I added some pressure on the sides. Cairo, I definitely agree. Thank you for confirming that. If you try to if you force it, it'll pop out. But really, we just kind of have to check our use case. If we can make it to work with our use case, then it's fine. One click you die says, now people won't laugh at my K95 Corsair. Definitely. Having artisan keycaps and custom cables and stuff when you're using a pre-built, sometimes it's just the budget though. One of the people that watch my streams, she actually uses a Ducky 1.2 Mini and she has artisans on there. But everyone has different budgets. Some people just like collecting artisans too. One click you die, yeah. Knowing the difference between GMK and ePBT is very important in your purchasing decision. This is cheap, right? It was like $110 GB, and it has a great sound, but the space bar really turns a lot of people off. Lala posted a picture. What board is that? Did she flip it? Yeah, it's flipped. Window capture can show you what I'm looking at. Yeah. That's a lot of freaking artisans. Oh, real force? Real forces are good. They're the Topo ones, right? Fizella says, most of my artisans I want to giveaways. Yeah, I'm still using a Red Dragon TKL. Whatever your budget is, just work with that. If anyone judges you for your board, don't listen to them. They're jerks. I hate the gatekeeping that sometimes it's prevalent in this hobby. But it happens with any kind of niche hobby. People like the OGs, like, no, this is the only way to enjoy the hobby. If you're new, screw you. Whatever. It's dumb. I try to create a community that does not do that. Try to keep it friendly. We're all just trying to have fun, enjoy our keyboards. Dude, Topra's dope. It's a tactile switch though, so if you don't like tactile, it is what it is. Keone, if you don't even gatekeep or even a community, yeah. Fizella says, hype to put pudding caps on your board. Yeah, when I wasn't in the custom community, pudding caps look dope with RGB, and then you get into this community and like, oh, pudding caps, you're trash. I'm like, get out of here. Most of us are like nerds sitting in their houses, just typing on our expensive keyboards to talk smack on each other. Nathan, you said Everglide staffs are trash. I don't know, maybe you have bad luck with them, but all my boards are Durock and Everglides. I haven't had any issues. Agent Scarn says, just bought F660 from Mech Market. It's a good board. Hear good things about it. That's a 60, right? If I'm going to get a Topper board, I would be getting the board like the Zergirl had, which is the TKL. Cairo, the Millennial Up Discord only has temporary invite links. So I can't keep up with the usernames, but DM me. I think someone messaged me the other day. I cleaned up the server a little bit because people were not active. If you're not active, I kind of had to purge. Lala Island soldering. Lala Island said, one friend I know outside keyboard was OG. He was like, soldering bad. Soldering bad? How is soldering bad? Back in my day, the only option are $200 full GMK kit. $200 cheap now, unfortunately. Oh, hot swap bad? Yeah. Definitely a bit of that gatekeeping going around. I remember when I first joined KBD fans and I was like, all right, I make YouTube videos. What do you guys want to see out of a YouTuber? They're like, you need to learn how to solder. Like, well, what does that have to do with anything? Like, oh, all these tech YouTubers come in and they use a hot swap board and they're like disgracing the hobby. I'm like, really? What? All right, whatever. Fazalo said, I really wish I had money to blow on 20 different custom keyboards like some people on RMK. People are using their 1.2K stimulus check to be buying keyboards for real. And that's not what you're supposed to be doing. And yeah, a lot of people buy a lot of boards. I have 2 right now. This was my 3rd one, and I'm selling it out. AE My Sex says, soldering is my honestly favorite part of the keyboard community. Yeah, so I like soldering, kind of. I do, right? I hate desoldering. Agent Scarn says, currently building a Romeo as my first solder board. Bad idea? Yeah, that was a bad idea. You're gonna learn fast. Nathan, I don't know how you got both of your wires out. I just don't. It's fixable. It's gonna take some time though. Hash singing slasher says, you get a whole ass 11 rolls of toilet paper for 1.2k. Yeah, that's it. Did you just say nut check, Fizzello? Free Hong Kong might want to invest in desoldering gun. Yeah. Nathan, your opinion is like contrary to everyone, because there's no better. I mean, you can go buy Zeals, but Zeals pop out a ton. They have a reputation of popping out for everyone across the board. So maybe you'll have better luck, but you might end up spending twice as much for stabs and end up having the same issue. Master says just bought the practice 60, so don't mess up my space 65. Good. It's a good way to practice. Okay, C3 styles will work, Nathan. Just make sure you don't use PBT. Well, actually, there's new C3, right? That's supposedly, allegedly has fixed their issues with ePBT. Vizzello says Zelios are supposed to be the best. Zelios are switches. We're talking about the Zeal stabs. Zelios are pretty good, but they're really expensive at $1 a piece. I would recommend going the T1 route, or there's plenty of other tactile options. Nathan says, yeah, new C3. Yeah, I think this new C3 would be good. I just would wait for other people to test it. I bought it the last time and it didn't work out for me. Island says we need more people to commission Andy so we get more content. Yeah, more commissions means more content. I can get on more. I have my IDB60 rebuild. I have the SCOG desolder, which would be its own stream, and then the SCOG solder, which would be its own stream. So I have 3 streams coming up. And I'll probably do... Yeah, I'll do it all next week. I have to do it all next week. Yeah, I'll do it all next week. So make sure you follow the Twitch. Follow my Twitter too. Twitter's a new thing. I'll be putting announcements up when I'm doing my streams. I get a little tired of spamming KBD fans. And join my public Discord, Andy Teaches Tech. The announcements will always be there. Free Hong Kong says new C3 style should be good. No one knows yet. They should be good. I'm just tired of putting my money up for things that aren't tested. Fazella says a lot of people like Gathering Inks. I like Gathering Inks too. Ink black. Takuchi Satomi says one day he'll send his board for me to build. Do it. Happy to build. Nathan Barr says it's so hard. How am I supposed to put both of these back when I can't touch the wire? Nathan, has your wire just like left? Because technically when it pops out, it's going to hit another switch. It's not going to leave that little stab opening. Fizella asks, how does one acquire disposable income for keeps? This is a business for me. So everything I put in, I try to make money off of. Not by flipping, but rather I use it as tools and content for my channel. I've been able to make a pretty good amount of income coming from like these Twitch donations, Amazon affiliate links, and subs too. That money, I haven't really gotten the sub money yet, but it's growing. But I also have a full-time job, so that's where the money comes from. My sex as wire has left the chat. Nathan, do you see? I'll help you in the Discord after. I'll do my best. Lion says I'm going to wake up in the morning that ID80 post is going to have 1,000 upvotes. Hope so. Hopefully they can see it and fix the issues. Alright, y'all. I need to sign out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. Feel free to join my Discord and keep talking about this kind of stuff. Make sure you follow me on my socials. I got Twitter now. I got the Twitch, which you're here. YouTube, Discord, the whole thing. One click, you die. Hopefully you enjoy this board. I'm going to fix your spacebar for you. And then I'll package it all up. And you'll get it next week. I think. I'll ship it out on Monday. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Stay safe, stay inside. Only leave the house for groceries and exercise, or whatever your local restrictions are. Let's get through this so we can all get back to our somewhat normal lives. Yeah, see y'all later. Peace.